Alright, hello, welcome back to Trophy Chronicles, where today we will be taking a look at the Platinum Trophy for every time. Monopoly. Or new Monopoly. It sucks. Alright. First of all, I would say Monopoly doesn't suck. I love Monopoly. It's a lifelong childhood classic that has stood the test of time like nothing else, and it's still a beloved, if infuriating game. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say that Monopoly in general, it's synonymous with rage. It seems to get people riled up like no other board game. Anyone who's played this with anybody, you know how it just it drives a wedge and for between people. So it's like the Mario Party of board games, and can turn even the most calm, collected, gentle soul into a bloodthirsty tyrant. Nobody's happy playing Monopoly, and even if you are, you're happy with the memories. And that's why even in this game, you can do the board flip, but we'll get to that. But yeah, new Monopoly, why does that suck? It all comes down to one simple thing, that for some reason Monopoly games cannot get right. The Ubisoft Monopoly I play can't get it right. This one can't get it right. It is rigged as hell. Now, I know, saying something is rigged is such a delicate topic. It's like saying, oh, my button didn't work on the controller. I pressed it, it didn't work, my controller wasn't working. Can it be true? Yeah. But there's no way to say it without sounding like a whiny sore loser. It's just, nobody believes you. It just sounds like you're complaining because you lost. But this Monopoly, it's different. The riggedness of Monopoly games, it does not come from making you lose. I wish it was just that. They are rigged solely to waste as much time as humanly possible. They're just rigged to go on and on and on. It got to a point, I was playing this online with a friend once, because we just bought a cheap, because we wanted something silly to play together, we wasn't board games. And it got to a point one time where we could predict, it was like, what number does it have to get to keep this going longer? And we could predict multiple turns in a row with a chance, with two dice, there's 12 numbers it can be. Well, 11. And we would get it multiple times consistently. It's going to get 7, 11. He's going to land on this. Oh, you just got 200. You're about to lose money to my house. And we would be right. That's how these feel. I suppose quickly, in the off chance you don't know what Monopoly is, you start with a certain amount of money. You roll a dice, you get a certain number. Along the way, there's properties you can buy. The opponent lands on the properties, they owe you money. You land on their properties, you owe them money. You can buy houses and hotels if you get the whole set, which results in you paying more money. There's also community chests and chance, which result in you paying money or losing money or gaining money, depending on what it is. First one to lose all your money, you lose. That's basically the concept. And when I said that this game is rigged as hell, at one point I had every property on the bottom of the board, and my opponent had gone to jail. So the only way that they could get away from my thing was to get, once they got it to the bottom left, the only way they could avoid my stuff is get I think a 3, maybe a 7 or a 10. And if you got a 10, it's like you go directly to jail, where you're stuck for 3 turns unless you get a double or pay a fine. 5 turns in a row, my opponent got 3 doubles, which puts you back in jail, which meant he was safe from my properties and safe from instantly losing, or he would land on the 10. And at one time, I think he even got like a chance card that just sent him there. 5 turns in a row, and then when he got out, perfectly went well, so he could get more money somehow. You will find a time, so many times, you'll be like, okay, the only way he can not lose in this turn is if he gets to this one number, boom, multiple times in a row, things go so perfectly. And then you land on one of their places, have to pay them money, get a chance, back around, right back on that place. Just any little thing to make sure it can't end. Maybe that's the sad little truth behind it all. It doesn't want to end. It's like that AI that they trained to play Tetris, and because it was going to lose, it just paused the game forever. Maybe I have to look at this in a whole new way. The only big differences to New Monopoly as a whole as a game, I don't even know if any of them are new, but they have multiple game modes. Like instead of just playing the game, you have to whoever gets a certain amount of properties first, or getting a certain amount of money first. Or you have different rules, or you would have three dice. Sometimes it can be just a different dice, or it can put you in specific places. But just varying kind of change ups to the board, and they have a living board, which honestly is kind of cool. It's just a little city going on in the middle of the board, and you can just zoom out, go in there, just look around. If you ever played a game like Theme Park World, it's like going into first person in that, but you can't interact with anything. But it's cool to look around, I guess. And while you're in there, you can zoom around to find little collectibles and stuff, which we'll get into when we get to the trophies. But yeah, in 90% it's just Monopoly, but fucking rigged to the point it ruins them. Like, it destroys everything. And I tried bringing this up to people once, they're like, no, Monopoly's supposed to be rigged. It's like, yeah, it might be rigged to be on fun. Maybe that's how it is designed. But I don't think it was rigged to the point where it's like the opponent will have the dice perfectly land on the right spots to not lose 5 times in a row. Because that's impossible. Yeah, let's just get into the fucking trophies. A lot of them are what you would expect. Buy a house, buy a property, win a game, become bankrupt. There's very simple stuff like that right from the beginning. Buy a house, buy a hotel. That'll get a good chunk of them right from the start. At the start, you'll be just like, trophy, right from the start, instantly. There's a few from the living board, or collect a bunch of tokens and explore for the first time, just little things like that. And they also have the fun city ones. The ones I kind of love. Like, play a game where you're all animal tokens. Or roll your dice and while they bounce, hit one of the players. The silly little fun things like that. They're the ones you'll enjoy. A lot, and one of the big benefits of this game, one of the things that probably saved me a lot of time and frustration. Speaking of which, I have to check how long this was. You can do a lot of multiplayer with one controller, because you would just do the hot seat thing where it's like you pass the controller along if you're playing with people. That saved a lot of frustration, because you can just control the player and have them do things that you would want to do. So there's one like complete a house on 2 sets or something. So like I have houses on 2 sets of places. If you're controlling both players, that's easy, because you get to a place you want to get, have them not buy it. Or there's one to have all of the train stations and the utility buildings. Again, if the opponent lands on them, click no, move on. Or does this one like have 4 players, have them pass around, have like every player own the property at one stage? Which again, trade, boom. The idea of doing some of these without a second player controlled, it sounds like it'd be one of the most frustrating things ever. I would say the 3 biggest trophies that gave me the most issues, and they were the last ones I got. Land on every space during a game, which do I even need to say why that's fucking annoying? I had a little notepad up like, landed on this place, landed on this place, and then, oops, something went wrong. 4 turns in a row, you land on the wrong place. You lose. Start over. That's a frustrating one. It wasn't too bad. I don't remember like overly struggling. I think it took like 4 proper goals, but God, what is there, like 20, 36 spots on Monopoly board? I think 38. Pain in the ass. Then there was one that's like collect 800 in free parking money in one game, which I'm pretty sure you get from income tax, super tax, which just charge 1 or 200 if you land on the spot. Which I would say that's another way the game would be rigged. You're in the lead, you're having a good time, you're about to catch up. Yay, pass go, collect 200. Income tax, lose 200. The amount of times that would happen. It felt, or like at the very end, it's like blue place, which was one of the most expensive places in the game are the blue ones. It would be blue place, blue property, income tax for 100, blue property. I would have a hotel on both of the blue places. If my opponent lands there, they lose. Income tax, income tax, income tax, every fucking time they pass. Oh, that just came back to me. But yeah, what was it called? Free parking. 800. And remember when I said how rigged this game is? If there's one spot you're going to make you land on a lot, it's free parking, because it's the one place that's going to make you not lose. So you had to have your opponents and you lose 800 total, which is either 4 super taxes or like stuff with the other one like mixed into it. You might also get some money there when you pay money when you get like the bad chance or community chest ones, but they're usually like 10, so I'm not even sure if they count. But you have to get 800 in there and be the one to land on it. This was either the last or second last trophy I got for a reason. If it was just lucky, it might be okay, but it's luck mixed with awful rigged crap. And then there was one win against 5 AI players in a game. All AI players. This one was probably the most frustrating because, like I said, the amount. I feel like the game always picks a winner at the start and it's going to rig the game for them to win. After spinning its wheels for like 45 minutes, it go round and round and boom, I've decided you lose. What? You have 1,000 house, land, boom, you're bankrupt. And I know that can happen in regular Monopoly too, but it's so precise that I hate it. Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well. There's really not much to it. It's just most of them are like that. It's also incredibly slow, by the way. Can you imagine playing against 5 AI players? You go, you do your thing, done. Watch opponent roll dice. Piece moves along the board. Which I forgot to mention. One of the fun things this game does, you actually get to see your pieces and you can kind of control them. So if you're moving 6 space, you can just like bounce, 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 knock over the player, knock over all their houses. And it's like a Fortnite storm kind of coming in, dragging you along if you're against it. And sometimes it's fun to like go against that and it's like, "Arr." It's a board game. You have to make your own fun sometimes. But yeah, let's just get into the rankings because, God, Monopoly. Fun factor. It's a struggle between loving Monopoly and hating rigged incompetent garbage Monopoly games because everyone I've played, all 2 of them, my high sample size, they can't help themselves. Some games just refuse to just let a game happen and have to try to force fun out of it. It's like when a playlist forcefully changes songs to make it feel less random, but I'd rather it just be random when it goes wrong sometimes. Would every Monopoly game be fun or fair if it was normal and just wasn't rigged crap? No. God no. I'd go into some games and have the worst time of my life. But I'd rather I don't know, it's like winning a race with having a racing game with rubber banding. I'd rather lose a lot or win by a lot to the point it's boring than oh, the game has decided you're doing too good. Opponent speeds up or slows down. I'd rather just have a normal, fair, not rigged, lazy, garbage game. Fun. I'll give it you know what? I'm gonna give it a 3. It loses 90% of its fun when you know what's happening behind the scenes. When you know it's making you do better or worse based on what it feels like the game should be doing at the moment. I hate that in games in general. Just if I'm going to lose, let me lose. If I'm going to win, let me win. Don't do this shit we have to drag it out. It's not fun. It's never been fun. Nobody likes it. Stop it. Maybe someday I can play a Monopoly game that's not terrible. I'm actually thinking about going back to like a Game Boy or NES Monopoly because I think maybe they don't even have the tech or care enough about your feelings to make you even pretend like it's fair. So it will just let it happen. If anything's going to let you suffer because a game decides to fuck with you, it's NES and Game Boy. So I'm thinking of trying like a really old one. Difficulty? How do you how do you even quantify difficulty in a game that's a mix between random luck and rigged crap? So we'll stick with a 3. 90% of the trophies could be done in like 15 seconds just by having multiple players. Halftime, the biggest difficulty of that was just try not to have it just fuck you up with too many bad rolls. But yeah, 3. Nothing was difficult. Even with the 4 or 5 AI players one, you could have switched the game because there's like different kind of fast modes. It's like be the first to get this amount of money. Be the first to have like a house as or full. It's either one house or multiple houses on every property in a certain set. I think that's why I eventually did, and it flew by. So yeah, 3. Nothing was really hard. It was just tedious as hell. As for the amount of time it took, a grand total of 23 hours, and I guarantee at least 15 of those hours were just, oh, it decided to mess me up. Start over. Now we get to start over, and because at the start of the game, you have to all of you roll a dice, and whoever gets the highest number gets to go first. So I roll my dice. The opponent rolls their dice. The next one rolls their dice, and have to do it every time you want to start again for 6 players or more, or not more, or for 6 players sometimes. I didn't like this. I didn't enjoy this. The only thing I enjoyed about this game was bouncing around, having my little thimble, because that's always my go-to piece. I'm just having to go boing, boing, knock over this, knock over all other houses. Yeah. I know they kind of alluded to earlier. A fun but really annoying thing about this game, you can flip the board. I think it's if you lose, like, it's either if you lose 10% or more of your money or 90%, I can't remember which one. You can just, and it goes flying. The problem with this, however, they turn even something like flipping the board, they managed to turn a fun thing into crap. They managed to ruin flipping a board in Monopoly without having to deal with the cleanup of it. How? Because I think it's like 10% of your money, and if it's at the top of the list, so you're trying to skip through things, and it's on boom. Great, yeah, come on, come on, come on. Do you have any idea how many times in a game of Monopoly you lose 10% of your fucking money? Sometimes like 5 or 6 times in a game. Skip, 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 bang! And sometimes you're like, you have 100 on you, and like you have to pay you have to pay $11 to this place. Terrible. They ruined. You ruined flipping a fucking Monopoly board. The first time it was satisfying and funny, but was this made by Ubisoft? Oh, so they made 2 shit Monopoly games. Of course, it's fucking Ubisoft. You. I should clarify it's just on. Of course. Ubisoft. Of course, it's Ubisoft. Who else would it be? I should have known. Monopoly sucks. New Monopoly sucks. Video game Monopoly sucks. Shot. Ubisoft sucks. I know, hot take, but yeah. Overall score, you know what? All things considered, fuck it. Just the fact that it's Ubisoft and it's the second one time they've done this, 2. You had a fucking 2 out of 10 overall. Just make Monopoly fair. Like, I'm not going to say I know anything about game development, but if I go online right now and get a random number generator, is it really so hard to just have that be the case with this? It's a random number, 2 dice between 1 and 6. Click, random, go. It is, again, I might be the crazy one. I might be the unreasonable asshole here. Is that so hard? Is it so hard just to have the numbers and the dice be random? At least to the extent that it's between 1 and 6. Am I crazy? I don't know, but yeah. Fuck Ubisoft. Fuck video game Monopoly. At least, you know what? The fact there's been 2 Ubisoft ones makes me a bit hopeful they're not all like this. It's just part of my quest. Find a Monopoly game that doesn't have rigged garbage. Find a tennis game that doesn't forcefully control you randomly against my will. Someday I'll find them. Someday. But yeah, that's all for Monopoly, thank God. As for what I'll be doing here next, the next couple of games are still already done. I'm still catching up, but it will either be Plants vs. Zombies. Oh, I couldn't catch a break. Oh, these were a lot of tough platinums in a row. God, Plants vs. Zombies. Oh, that's going to be a long one, I'd say. Just the amount of complaining I'm going to have to do with that one, because some of the worst trophies ever win. Like, I love Plants vs. Zombies, but God, one of the worst platinums ever. And Ball Pit. Ball Pit was fucking great. No complaints there. But yeah, as always, thank you for watching. See you for the next one, and see you for the next platinum.